everybody. It's Carlton Banks. I'm here with the In My Humble Opinion podcast. I'm here with
Devon.
And also
Dante Higgins.
Yes, Houston extraordinaire, one of the best MCs I've heard. It's like amazing.
Oh, okay. We'll be honest with you. This is like take two.
It really is. That's why it sounds like this.
We talked for like 10 minutes and then we didn't have the sound on. So now we're going to come back and we're going to do it. We're going to ask some questions, but now it looks like we like prepared to ask it. So we're going to start off with Dante. Going back, we're going to go back to just like before rap. Okay. Where'd you, you're a Houston MC. What part of Houston did you come up in?
Houston, I grew up in, my family was raised in Third Ward. My mom, my grandma, and South Lawn Apartments opened up. That's like one of the worst projects in Houston, Texas. At that point in time, it was good because it was brand new. And it was a place for people on welfare and stuff to come live in some good new apartments. They had like palm trees and stuff everywhere, government. So I was like one of the first kids born in South Lawn. So like the South Lawn, Yellowstone area is where I come from. It's where I grew up at.
All right. And then we were talking earlier about your mother. Yeah. Like when you were coming up, you were saying your mother, she had you at a young age, so you thought that was your sister.
Yeah, my mom, she had me when she was 16 years old. And after she had me, she was like one of the top track runners at Yates High School. She's in the Hall of Fame case. They won they still had a record for the 4x1, and she was the first leg. So she was blazing fast, but she got pregnant with me, and she graduated from school early. My mom graduated she graduated with me in her stomach at 16 years old.
Okay.
So she lost the scholarships or whatever, however that went, I don't really know. But she ended up going to the Army because my grandma couldn't afford for her to go to college. So she went to the Army so she can go to the Army, and the Army can pay for her to go to college. So I missed all those years of her being my mom when she was in the Army because she was in and out. Then she went to college. So I stayed with my grandma up to like 10, 11 years old till she finished with school and got financially ready to get a job.
Okay. So you're coming up in South Lawn. We were talking about college. Like eventually as you come up, you decide that you're going to go to college. You wind up going to what was the junior college
I went
again?
to Kilgore Junior College, and I went to Texas A&M Kingsville.
And that was on a football scholarship?
On a football scholarship, yeah.
Now, your major is criminology, and you got a minor in psychology. So if it were not for sports, if it weren't for hip-hop, what were you planning on doing?
Well, at the time, I thought I was going to be one of the top football players, so I wasn't even really focusing on what I was going to do with school. I was like, I like psychology because I like to kind of read people's minds a little bit. I like to talk to people. I feel like I could talk and get my point across or listen to people and have good advice for them or just read a person. So I was like, I like psychology. I could do that. And then criminology, I was watching a lot of the shows, the criminology shows, the criminal shows where they finding detective stuff and all that type of stuff. So I liked that. And I just wanted to know how police treat black people in the neighborhood. I just wanted to find out what was right and what was wrong. So if I run across a police officer, I know most police officers don't like to run into me because I done got pulled over with my homeboys in the car, and I break it out. They be like, man, Tay, chill. I'm like, nah, this what he have to do this. And they pulled me. I done had a police officer pull me to the side and say, man, what you doing hanging with these knuckleheads? Like he already knew. I say, these my friends. I'm just saying, you trying to tell me or charge me with this or that, and that ain't my car in reverse. You can't charge me for something. And then he figured I knew I was going, so he let us go. I was like, man, you can really say what you want to say to the police. Until they read you the rights and tell you, you really can go off. So they was like, man, if you know what you're doing. So that's what I really studied criminology for, so I could learn all the ins and outs and the holes of talking to police officers and getting myself out of situations or in some situations.
Now, you were saying, too, that your mom, and that's how you get into college, you say your mom and your grandma are just really big on, like, education.
Yeah. My mom, she's all about school. I got one of my sisters, my oldest sister, she's about to graduate this year. And my youngest sister, she graduate next year. She about to cross over, be an AKA. So my mama, she let it be known early. We graduate in this family. Yeah. Like, my mom was the first one to graduate in my whole Higgins family. She the first one to go to college. She the only one. So I was next, and my sisters, and we started a tradition of we go to college in this family from my mom. So when I was growing up, before I could go outside and ride bikes or play football, or man, if my grade dropped down to a C, it wasn't no football. It better not be a low B. It ain't no football. You got to keep them up. So I was always ahead of the students, because their parents wasn't teaching them right school or none of that. So I was always ahead. So I was doing my homeboys' homework. It wasn't like I felt like I was weak or nothing. I'm just like, man, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, come on, we got to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm in here. Beep, boom, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So I always been ahead of the game because of my mom on for us school and writing ability.
Now, even backing up, even before school. So if you're back here in South Lawn, this is before you go to college, what are you listening to?
Man, when I was growing up, I listened to nothing but Screwed Up Click, SUC. That was it. I ain't listened to nothing else. I listened to some Tupac. I listened to Pac too. But my uncle, he used to hang with a lot of SUC. My uncle was his name's Scooter. You would hear him on like screw tapes and everything. So he grew up with Big Pokey and all them. So I was introduced to screw tapes when I used to steal screw tapes from my uncle. I used to steal the screw tapes from him. He come looking for them. So I was a screwhead on Zero, all of them in the early days when I was young. So that's what really made me want to rap. And Lil Keke was one of my first favorite rappers. Like, he was my first favorite rapper, Lil Keke, with the South Side and the draped up and dripped out, and the screw shop was right up the street. We could ride our bike over there, see Lil Keke, ESG, all of them posted up. So Lil Keke was like a superhero to us with the South Side. You know what I'm saying? On the radio, we was body rocking everywhere.
I can understand. The production on that was amazing too. That was just a really good song.
Yeah.
All right, so you wind up, you're at college. What are people listening to when you're at college, though?
Now, when I get to college, you get to college, you got people from Chicago, Detroit, a lot of everybody want to make their hometown the best town. I don't care what it is. If we get to arguing about basketball players, oh man, we got TJ Ford at UT. That's when TJ was like, oh man, you ain't messing with TJ.
It's worth something.
Everybody arguing about they top players of their team. So we used to talk about music, and the Houston scene really wasn't big on music when I got to college. Like Power Wall and Slim Thug and them had just started breaking into that, getting on BET and all that.
What year was this?
This was like 2005, 2006.
Okay.
So they had just started going to that level, but I didn't listen to Swisher House growing up. Like, I don't have a problem, but I'm from the South. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta listen to
We ain't listening to Swisher House, you know what I'm saying? My first Swisher House artist I listened to was Power Wall, and that's only because he had Big Pokey on Sitting Sideways.
Okay.
And we done talked about it. He was like, nah, like, man, you can't be riding, you can't get caught jamming a Swisher House CD. Staying 1 mile from the screw shop. Man, I think we had one dude had a If Action something. Man, they found out, they broke the CD, threw the whole CD player.
That's right, because you lived 1 mile from there.
I lived on the South. We jamming Lil Keke, that's what we jam. And then when you listen to the screw tapes, Fat Pat and them was saying the North Side was jackers. This when South Side, North Side wouldn't really. So I'm South Side. I ain't listening to no North Side, nothing.
I can understand.
You know what I'm saying? So I was SUC for life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And what was the question?
We were just asking, what were you listening to?
Yeah. We were just saying, we were saying, what were they
now when I
listening
got
to
to
while you were up
college,
there?
when I got to college, I had one of my homeboys was from Chicago, and he put me on Kanye West, and Kanye West changed my whole style of music, because he was like, man, you kind of remind me of this dude named Kanye West, man, you need to check him out. I was like, man, I ain't listening to no Kanye West, because I was like, nah, I'm jamming this Fat Pat, I'm cool.
Now, are you rapping at this time?
I actually started rapping with Mac. We put out we had a little group called Space Age Family.
Okay.
I wasn't serious about rapping, but I could write some stories. So Mac was like, man, he could rhyme a little bit.
What year was that though?
This was when we started a rap group, and man, I was in the 8th grade.
Okay.
This is 8th grade.
8th
Now,
grade.
who's Mac again? Let's flesh that out.
Mac is the dude that started me to rap. He gave me a chance to be able to rap. He taught me how to write bars. He taught me about funk, about putting beats together. Mac taught me everything I know about making music today.
So he taught you about beats, so you do production as well.
Now I don't do production, but Matt gave me the ear to sit down and tell people what I want to hear, what sounds I'm looking for. Because when I rap, like I said, I listen to the SUC all the time.
Yeah.
So I was rapping about, I had a flow like they had and rapping about what they rapped about. So Mac was like, man, you know what? Because I did a song, and he was like, you know what if you different from all the kids in the neighborhood. You don't act like everybody. You don't do what everybody do. You kind of smarter, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you rap about what you actually do? Like, why don't you rap and be who you are? Like, talk about all the stuff that we think is weak or people think weak. Why don't you make that cool? Because you still a cool kid. You just don't do what everybody else do. So I was like, all right. I wrote my first song, and everybody at the high school went crazy. It was called Tell Me Something I Don't Know.
Yeah.
The first song I did, I wrote, and it was produced by Phil. That's the dude who did 1996. He been producing for us since we was in high school, middle school. We grew up with him. So I did that, and pretty much the song was saying, tell me why I'm in the hood or I'm around all this bad stuff. You want to tell me something, let me know about that, why we put here in these situations, these bad situations we in, why we can't have why we wasn't born where the big houses at and all that type of stuff. So everybody was like, man, that's a good song, and people liked it. So I just stayed with that whole style all the way up to now. Just being myself, rapping about what I like to rap about. So when I heard Kanye, I was like, man, he making what he want to be cool. He making pink sweaters cool.
That's cool.
He making teddy bears cool. Like, that's what I'm not saying that I do that, but I'm saying he making that cool to do.
So then what makes you actually start to take rap seriously? Like, you in college?
I started taking rap serious when I messed my knee up in college, my meniscus. So I had to sit out like a whole, so I was doing the rehab and stuff. So I ain't have time to do nothing but write lyrics. So that's when I was jamming Kanye. Then he put me on Lupe. I got into Lupe, started jamming him. I was like, man, Lupe is cold. Lupe one of the best I done heard. Then I got into Dipset. I just started listening to all these other MCs other than Houston MCs. And then my pen game just started getting better and better as I went back, started listening to Ninth Wonder, Lil Brother, a whole bunch of old school groups. Like, man, this is what I need to be doing. This is why I could tell stories if I rap like this and really rap about what I want to rap about. And then once I started rapping like that, it changed. I didn't even want to play football no more. I was like, I want to rap. This is what I want to do.
So what's the first thing? What's the first tape that you decided to come out with?
The first tape I came out with was H.I.G. And there was just some songs where I was just going to the studio, you know what I'm saying, get some, my uncle pay for me some studio time while he'll just be in the area. Like, oh man, he was just like, oh, my nephew, I'm over here. Then go record some songs with his boy K Water, this K Reno brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was recording songs with him, and I got enough songs. So when I graduated, you know what I'm saying, my homeboy Carl, who real close with me now, he helped me do a lot of stuff. He the one got me jumped off for us getting out in Houston, people getting my music. He was like, man, you got some good songs. We should put up a CD, and on your birthday, a lot of people gonna come. Plus you graduated, your graduation party. This is how we can introduce you as a rapper, because nobody knew I rap. They just knew I played football.
What birthday was this?
This is, I was like 21, 22.
So 22? That's
22, somewhere in there.
the kickoff of
The kickoff. So when I dropped H.I.G., man, it was full because I graduated. I'm from the hood. Everybody came. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wore my cap and gown home from the graduation. I'm gonna wear it all the way home. This is something. Went up to Southland, took pictures. Like, you know what I'm saying? People don't get to graduate from college where I come from. So we did the party, man. It was packed, and then as we had all the CDs, everything. People was like, man, he rap? When you start rapping, you know what I'm saying? They ain't take it serious till they heard it. They were like, damn, this boy cold.
You've always had like a good marketing thing.
Yeah,
even from that point, I'm seeing that was like the perfect marketing strategy.
That was the perfect thing.
To kick off everything for you.
Kick off everything. So after that, the H.I.G., and then I ran into, the next city I did was called Rhymes for Days.
Yes.
Now how Rhymes for Days got started, do y'all know Scotty? Scotty raps, do the battle rapping. He one of the top battle rappers in Houston.
Not
man.
familiar.
He didn't battle. He like one of top battle rappers in Houston, man. We went to high school together. But he wanted me to do a song with him, so I met up with him at Magic Studio in Mike crib.
Yeah.
So when I met up with him over there, we was doing, you know what I'm saying, doing a song. I did the song, killed it, wrote it in like 15 minutes. They were like, man, did you have that? I wrote it out right here. 16 verses. And then I got rhymes in my head all day. So when I recorded, Mike was like, man, what you doing? Whoop, whoop, whoop. So I was like, man, you know, I ain't had no job at the time. I just finished school. So I'm like, man, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it, but I want to do music. So Mike was like, man, look, man, you talented, you cold. Come over here to my studio. I'm going to record everything, press. I'm going to make sure you get what you need to do because I feel like you got talent. You just need somebody to work with you. I was like, all right, cool. So I started going to Mike's every day. And that's how me and him became cool and we got our relationship.
Okay.
And this was around Rhymes for Days.
So that's Rhymes for Days.
So I was working on another CD.
Yeah.
And my boy Carl was going through my email trying to find an email I sent so he could send it because he was like kind of doing my little managing thing. And he came across this folder I had where I used to write all these rhymes in class when I used to be like in there and I didn't want to listen to the teacher. I just write just 3 pages of raps so I don't get writer's block.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can't think of nothing, I just write some dumb stuff, just keep going. So I didn't taught myself how not to have writer's block. Like I never get jammed up because I taught myself how to keep writing through it. So he found it. He was like, man, what are you gonna do with all these rhymes and these folders you got, man? You got like you got just rhymes for days. And then I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna take all them raps and just get beats and just rap. I didn't write nothing. I did that CD in 2 days with all the raps that was in that folder from what I wrote in class. And I just rapped I just took them all, pieced them together, all that, made it sound good, and rapped all of them. And everybody in the city went crazy over Rhymes for Days.
Rhymes for Days, yeah.
Rhymes for Days came, then Schoolboy Music.
Was that the CD that you were working on when you
I was
started
working
making
on Schoolboy Music.
Yeah.
So I started back on the Schoolboy Music because that's when they had like trap music, dope boy music, all that. So I was like, I want to do schoolboy music so I could do schoolboy and show them that, man, what we doing in school, we having fun just like y'all doing with the dope boy stuff. So I'm trying to compare them. Like you go to a party and pop bottles and stuff. Well, I'm in school, I'm going to the AKA party and we drinking the fruit punch, but it's pretty much the same thing. We leaving with girls and it's all the same. So I kind of put the schoolboy music into the trap boy music type thing and just talked about me growing up in the hood and how I was able to be able to go to college and live out these experiences. So that was schoolboy music. Then people started asking about Rhymes for Weeks. And I was like, dang, all of them. So I just started writing, did Rhymes for Weeks, and it just kept going. Man, I got so many CDs. We'll be here talking forever.
That's what
y'all want to keep going.
That's the point.
But the thing with
Weeks.
that I want to know is when you took rap seriously, you said it was right after you hurt your meniscus.
Right after I hurt my meniscus, yeah.
So with that, you went to school on a football scholarship.
Right.
Did the football scholarship end shortly after?
No. I played a whole nother season. So as we playing football, I'm playing receiver. I played the slot. I was writing songs and stuff on the bus trips. Wherever we go, I had a pen and pad. I ran into one of my roommates in Austin. He was just like, man, when we do your story, I have to tell people. They go to the club, I'm just writing songs, writing lyrics, writing, because I love to write. So I'm just writing all these songs. So after we did that, I started, you know what I'm saying, I had my whole neighborhood was rocking with me. So my homeboy Carl, he was also a club promoter too.
Yeah.
So that's how we was able to get it. So he was like, you know what? I know a few DJs and stuff. Let's try to get your music to them. So I was just going up to MC Kane, High C, Kiati. This before all them was on there. I was just giving them J-Mac, giving them my CD all the time. Like every time they see me, they got it. So Kane, he was like, man, he called me. He was like, bro, where have you been at? Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, ain't nobody, man, you cold, man. So I was like, man, how you get my CD? He said, man, every time you see me, you give me a CD. I had like 6, 7 CDs of you in my car of different CDs. So I was like, man, let me check them out. So he put together this thing called a Frontline Tour.
Yeah, I remember.
And the Frontline Tour was me, Propane, D-Lo, all us when we was just coming up. It was some rappers in the city who was doing their things on their side, and he gave us a home to come do it and be able to perform at the House of Blues, all these big venue places, and we was selling them out.
Yeah, sure were.
Selling them out. Like House of Blues, man, you couldn't even, like, it sold out. My people came, they had to sneak through the back. It wasn't no getting. I brought Big Pokey out that day. Man, Kurt Cobain started out frontline. Man, who else was that? DJ Chose. Man, it was a whole lot of people who doing their thing now started with Kane at the frontline tour.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so after that, my fan base just grew more, and then it's just been expanding ever since. Every time I come up with a new idea, I expand on my fan base.
So Frontline is really kind of like, I don't want to say it's a second wave, but we're talking about another wave that comes after like Slim Thug, Paul Wall. You got another group of MCs that are coming up.
Right.
Now, you're really tied into a lot of Houston, that Houston hip hop culture. And we wanted to play real quick just a clip of a freestyle that you had, particularly just about Houston culture. And then we were going to speak about that. So let's play that clip, and then we're going to talk about it. All right, we can go ahead and start phasing out.
Yeah.
All right, now that was recorded roughly with 2016?
That 2016.
Yeah, it was about 2016.
Yeah.
Now, do you still feel the same way about the culture of Houston? Like, what were you trying to get across with that?
I was trying to get across, man. I love the Houston culture so much. What really influenced me to write that was when Paul Wall had the interview. I forgot who he had it with, but he had the interview and he was talking about the Houston culture, drink, and how he was hearing that, oh, Justin Bieber or Lil Wayne, them started to drink, and he like, no, they didn't. That's Big Mo and them. And then, you know, you had that was around the time when the Houston wave went straight Atlanta, like with all the sauce and the this and the dressing. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So the best way for me to get stuff off my chest is to write about it. So I felt like since way back in the day, all these different cities been coming in Houston, stealing our style and going back away. We roll out the red carpet from them and let them in, let them steal all our stuff. Then they go home and just create an upgraded version of our stuff and then sell, and everybody think that that's the new wave or that's something new, and we've been doing it the whole time. But Houston don't get excited until somebody else do it. We don't get excited till Lil Wayne sing the Big Mo version on his song. Now we all crunk about it, but Big Mo doing that. We don't get crunk to Drake do the June 27th, which is nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But I'm mad because people coming to me talking about that's Drake's song. That ain't Drake's song. That's Big Pocket. Like, that's one of the South Side. That's one of our stamped in the culture songs.
Swinging and banging. How we took swinging and banging.
Yeah, so I'm
It's
like,
come on.
I like the fact Drake did it and gave us that. Well, people got a chance to recognize Houston talent because Drake done did a lot for the city. But I'm saying other people,
They don't know where it comes from.
when you jam an original 27 and somebody say, "Oh man, why they rapping on Drake beat?" I'm like, hold on, now you just get offended.
Yeah.
Like, what you mean? Like, but that's where I was coming from with that song right there. Like, I feel like a lot of people take our stuff. I feel like we had the coolest, the best culture in the game. Like, Houston, everywhere you go, people love
I do agree, though.
Houston people.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
listen to a lot of music now, I do feel like prior to the Houston run, nothing was screwed at all.
I mean,
there was no
Grills,
deep
you know,
voices.
Nelly come out with the Grill song, Power Wall on it. All that. Houston has done a lot for this culture. Now, another thing why I say Houston is so far back on our culture, because LA, New York and stuff, they had movies that showed the culture of LA. Like, LA had Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, all this stuff. You see how LA people dress, where they hang out. All of you go to New York movies, you see the people in the Bronx, barely they sitting on a bench, all that. We don't really have a Houston movie that's stamped.
Jason's lyric wasn't
Jason
enough for
Lee.
you?
Nah, I'm stamp the Houston culture where people like know, like, man, you know what I'm saying? We watching it. We want to
Bokeem
wear.
Woodbine.
We wearing New York
I
hats
had no
because Jay Z
idea where
wearing.
Jason's lyric was filmed. Like, I was
Yeah.
looking at the whole time, like, where is this?
I went to This Is It.
I
That's all
know, that was it.
French
That
is-
was
This
it.
Is
I
It,
was
yeah.
like, okay, this is not.
I was like, where else?
None
Did
of
they,
this
I
is
think they
where
filmed
we
somewhere
go.
else too. But
Yeah.
But I think we got one of the best cultures, man, and they rape our culture.
They really do. They really
They
do.
rape it.
Yeah, they take each and every piece. Like I said, with the screw, I was listening to Poetic Justice and just hearing when Kendrick Lamar in the beginning, his voice he gets, "If you were bad, get your hands up." I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that wouldn't
A lot of
exist
that.
if it hadn't been
Yeah,
for Houston.
yeah.
T-Pain had the song Chop,
Then
then
Screw,
Screw,
yeah.
Chop,
Chop,
Chop.
yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
was
saying?
like,
I'm like, man, that's Screw. Like, I feel like at least put Lil Kiki on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The car culture.
Yeah, the
We're-
cars,
look
the
at us.
slabs.
Yeah.
I'm like, man,
come on.
I just feel like they not respecting us.
Now, why do
we
you
getting
think-
disrespected?
Not to say you might not say, why do you think that is? Why is there that separation where you're not seeing people? I think somebody posted something the other day, like it was a notable DJ, and they were talking about the waves of cities,
Yeah.
and then somebody said Houston, they was like, oh, that was only like 30 seconds. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like they look back at Houston. It's interesting where it's the you'll talk about, really when they talk about that wave, they'll be like Swisher House had the wave, but they never want to say like
People-
Bun B. They never want to
Yeah,
say
I was about to say,
Scarface.
people
They never
been-
want to say Mo. They never want
The
to.
Houston culture been stamped since Scarface and
Yeah.
UGK. Like,
Nobody talks about Ghetto
Yeah,
Boys.
Ghetto
they talk
Boys.
about it separate,
they
like it's not part
they
of Houston.
came out telling the stories. I mean, other people was too.
Yeah.
But they came out telling stories. And Tupac, I read a thing where he said Scarface was his favorite rapper.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Favorite rapper.
You know what I'm saying? He like, I got a lot of stories from Scarface. Then you got Jay-Z, who, man, Scarface.
Favorite rapper.
Yeah, they like the Houston culture. Everybody liked the Houston culture.
Yeah,
Jay-Z
yeah.
liked it so much he married Beyonce.
And then, you know, he did Big Pimpin'
Yeah.
to get his records down in the South. Like,
Like,
the
he got
South
Big
is a
Pimpin'.
huge market.
It is.
Yeah.
Big Pimpin', one of the greatest things I do like about the Houston culture with Big Pimpin' is as much rapping is on Big Pimpin', everybody remembers the 8 bars that Pimp C put on it.
Pimp C, yeah.
That verse right there, one of the greatest
Pimp C
verses
got
ever.
man. Pimp C got some classic verses, man.
Yeah, classic
He got
verses.
some classic lines.
Yeah.
Classic lines, good voice.
Like, he might not be the best lyricist, but his words and the way he put it together, it just sticks in your head.
Yeah, everything about his song structure.
Even
like,
on
that's what he's about.
Players Amp, Choose It, Love or Never, he just come out on that. Everybody wait for it to drop, and they know that part when it comes.
Yeah.
It's like his delivery is it's so simple yet it's complicated. I don't know. It's very
he got a
beautiful
catchy voice.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people be telling me about my voice. Like
I was getting to your voice.
You got a voice like a lot of people don't have that voice. Like you, Wayne, Pimp C. It's like that voice sticks in your head or something. Andre 3000.
Your
Y'all
voice
got, like,
does remind me. It's in that same ilk.
It's like the voice is not too deep. It's kind of, I don't know, but it just sticks in people's head. The voice, like I could be somewhere and somebody, I say something, they, oh man, that's Dante. It's just they know my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you had a quote too. I got a couple of quotes from you. One was, you don't know if I'm paraphrasing. I don't think Houston knows what to do with my style. Like, what do you mean by that?
I think, I really feel like I've had people tell me they think I'm good. They just don't know where to start me, where to put me at.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because my style, it ain't like no old school Houston, but
True.
it ain't like no new Houston. It's like me in Houston, it ain't no, I'm really in my own lane.
Okay.
So they like, well, do we take him to New York? I don't know where we go with his music. I just know it's good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something one day. But for as a Houston rapper doing this, I don't know where we even start with him.
And then getting to, because I mean, I think he was saying it earlier, you have a real marketing mind. Like there's a strong marketing aspect to a lot of stuff. And you once said, let me see if I can see the quote here. Basically, I'll just paraphrase it. You can't just rap. Like you have to be doing other stuff. So speak to that, like the idea of like you cannot just rap, and if you just gonna try to rap, you're gonna fail.
See, man, one thing I was thinking about doing was going to high school and talking to kids that want to be rappers and try to talk to them about being a rapper. First thing I want to talk about is you don't have to be the coolest person to be a rapper. You don't have to be gang banging. That's what they think is cool. Gang banging or sipping syrup or none of that to be a rapper. You can have a 9-to-5 job like I do, education, rap, all that, and still be cool and go out and still rap and do music. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing. Number two, you can't just be no rapper. You ain't making no music and rapping. A lot of rappers get discouraged or they don't want to rap no more because they spending all they money on rapping. If you spend $3,000 on 2 mixtapes and don't make nothing back, you like, man, I'm not just gonna keep doing this because I like to rap. You know what I'm saying? Like this is going into my family money.
Yeah.
When you have something on the side like merch, or if you could build up enough CDs to keep them spinning on iTunes and keep people going to it or whatever, and have some income, you could use that money to pay for rap or whatever you need to keep you going in music. So the biggest thing now for me is my brand, the Good Forever brand. That's what I'm pushing right now. So I got my whole umbrella with my whole brand under this Good Forever umbrella. So my music is Good Forever Entertainment. I got the Good Forever clothes. So Good Forever cups. Whatever you want, it's going to be Good Forever. That is the brand. So I'm tying Dante Higgins with the Good Forever brand. So the music might make 2 cents off a stream, but I'm selling a shirt to that same person that streamed the music for 2 cents for $20.
You went to school for criminology and psychology. How did you learn like this marketing? Because your marketing is perfect.
My homeboy Carl is one of the best marketers. Like before I do anything, I talk to at least 4 or 5 people. Then I take the best things they said, then I put it together my own self. So first I talk to my mom about it, get everything that she have to tell me. Then I talk to my girl, then one of my homeboys, Mac. Then I talk to Carl. Then I take everything they said, then I break them down. Well, I don't really like what Mac said, but I like this. And I don't really like that. Oh, maybe I should put a lion on my shirt. Whoop. Then I put them all together, and then I'm like, all right, I got it. and then we roll out the plan.
You're really like showing that when it comes to this music game,
Yeah.
you can't do everything by yourself.
Man, you can't do everything by yourself. You can't do everything by yourself at all.
can't.
Trust me, you can't.
You cannot. You have a team behind you, and that's a positive thing.
Right.
And just seeing you move like that, I hope it speaks to a lot of people, especially up and coming rappers, because I see especially at the time, when you were coming up, I would see a lot of rappers who would want to just, focus on themselves and
Right.
try to do everything themselves and just not want to work with people. But with yourself, I see that you have a knit with a lot of the up and coming rappers,
Yeah.
and also rappers like today, like your relationship with Propane, your relationship with Dope Easy.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Man, actually, my relationship with Propane, my boy Carl was on Facebook pumping me up. Man, ain't nobody messing with Dante, man. He the coldest. So one of Propane boys was like, man, he can't mess with Pro. So they going back and forth about it. So Carl was like, man, put up some money. What you want to bet on it? Then he was like, man, we could bet whatever. So me and Propane actually supposed to meet up and rap for all this money. Like all the people on his side, like put all his money in my. So we supposed to meet up and rap against each other. So around this time, I got rounds for days that ain't. I'm gonna rap for about 3 hours is what he don't know. But Pro could go too. So when Kane put the Frontline tour together, he called all us together for a meeting to do a song. So when I got there, I didn't know D-Lo, Propane, all them. So when I met Pro, I was like, oh man, I'm Dante. He was like, oh, I'm Propane. I'm like, man, you who I'm supposed to be rapping against. Then me and him just came cool after that, man. We like brothers for it. Ain't nothing I can't call Pro, D-Lo, Doe, any one of them for, and they don't do it like ASAP. And it's the same with me. If I need to be somewhere, call or whatever, we make sure we take, because we started off together in this. So we keep it like that, and we all have our own little circles going on of what we do. Like I have my little circle, Pro have his circle, Doe have his circle, but we all family together.
I can see, because when y'all came together on Rhymes for Months.
Rhymes for Months, yeah.
Man. Please, you got to watch that video because it's really good. That song is amazing.
Yeah.
Rhymes for Months. Like I said, when I first got into it, I heard it. I was expecting something. And then when I really got into it, when it starts off with Pro, I was like.
Yeah, my boy Mike, he was going through some beats and found that beat.
Okay, so Mike produced that beat.
No, it's I can't think of who beat it is.
Uh-huh.
But it's like he just liked it.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh man, you got to start off Rhymes for Months with this. And I wasn't even thinking about doing Rhymes for Months.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard it, and I was like, man, I like the beat. Oops. So I wrote my verse or whatever. And then it just started off. I said, man, it'll be good if Doe Beasley came on. And I hit Doe, he did it, boom. I was like, you know what? I'm finna get Pro to get on the second verse.
Wow.
I called Pro, he came, did it same week. Shit, we dropped it. Michael Artist, he one of the top videographers in the city. He done did it. He heard it. He was like, man, I gotta shoot this video. So Michael Artist shot the video, man, and it's been doing good too.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
them boys is hard.
Now you talking about when you say Mike found the beat, that's Magic Mike.
Magic Mike, yeah.
Now you had a song after him, and this last album is named after him. So tell us some more about him.
Now Magic, they call him Magic. His name was Magic, making hits out of thin air. He was he produced, engineer. Man, Mike done work with everybody in the city, from Doe Beasley, Pro, everybody. Pokey. He was like one of the legends in the hood that helped me get to where I'm at now and record all my stuff over there. So once I stopped recording with Mac, I had moved to Mike, because
Okay.
Mac and them, they was working on. So we all started working with Mike. He gave us a home to record, and Mike ended up getting killed in 2014.
Yeah.
2014, 15, somewhere around there. Mike got killed. So that kind of threw off the whole game plan, because Mike did everything from pressing CDs to everything. And me and him just had built a relationship so close. When that happened, I really didn't even want to do music no more. You know how you just like, man, it ain't, you know what I'm saying, man? I wish my boy Mike was here. Like every time I'm in front of a mic, I'm always thinking about Magic when I recorded with him. Then on top of that, I ended up tearing my Achilles playing basketball. So I really was out of doing music. So after that, I started getting my Achilles back together. Whoop, whoop. Started getting back in the game a little bit. And then C-Stone, Breadwinners, you know, Johnny, y'all know C-Stone do the
Yeah.
reels. They had hit me up. And I started talking to Stone. So we decided to work out a little deal, a contract deal. And
So that's how you wound up working with
I signed with Breadwinner to do 3 projects with him.
Okay.
2. I think, wait, what? It was 2. So I had already had Good Forever done because I was working on Good Forever with Magic. But when Magic died, we had lost all the files. So I had to start all the way over.
Okay.
Doing the Magic. So when I got with Stone and Breadwinners, I kind of got like a breath of fresh air. It was something new. So I started working with them or whatever. I finished up with them, and you know what I'm saying? Me and him, we still brothers. We still cool. I'm still cool with the whole team, but it was just a direction I just didn't want to go because I felt like my music was good, but I just felt like I wasn't in the right environment for me. Like it wasn't good enough for me.
Okay.
Cause I'm like, man, I'm missing something not right. I'm not feeling my music. They like, man, your music is cold. All these songs is cold, but I'm like, man, it's just not. I'm not feeling it in my heart or something. So I came up with the bright idea. I say, man, you know what? I'm gonna make a CD called Magic Studio and put myself back in Magic Studio on the CD. So now I said, well, Mac the one started me off the writing music, taught me. I'm gonna let him executive produce the whole CD from top to bottom. Any beat, any lyric, he recorded the whole, anything Mac want me to do, I'm gonna give him the say so to do it. So a lot of them beats, Mac picked them beats.
Really?
I ain't even picked them beats. You know, I'm a soul hip hop. Yeah. So Mac was like, man, you need to get on that funk, do the same thing. So a lot of verses, that ain't the verse for that. Switch that. You know what I'm saying? I'll move that third verse to first. Take this part off the hook. Say this right there. Boom. So Mac executive produced the whole CD. Then we found a lot of clips of Magic and me and him talking and stuff. And we put it like it just gave me a whole new breath of fresh air. Like, man, I'm really back in Magic Studio. Like I'm back in here. Got Mac working with me, my whole team around me. And then I was like, you know what? I'm doing the music thing, but I'm not making enough money. I need to make a brand. And that's when I started doing the Good Forever brand. And it just been taking off, doing real good for me.
Yeah. Now, did Magic's murder, did that fuel anything to the Black Lives Matter?
Of course, yeah. The Black Lives Matter had a lot to do with Mike murder. You know, man, Mike, he was all on the news and everything he got caught up in a crazy situation.
Oh, wait. Actually, let's play the Black Lives Matter freestyle first, and then when we finish it, we're gonna talk about it. They can't hear me now, right? Can they hear me now? We're not going to play the whole thing, but we're going to play about a minute of it. All right, and you were saying like Magic's death was part of what fueled that freestyle. So
Because it was at that point in time, that's when there was a lot of cop killings going on. So it was a whole lot of protests going on. And then a dude in Houston got killed, and everybody wanted to protest and was walking. I'm like, well, nobody wanted to protest when Mike got killed. Not saying that, but then all these other black people getting killed. Like, I want to walk for them too. Like, I don't just want, like, how about we walk when black people hurt somebody too? Because my car just got broke into, and they called it was a black dude broke in my car, stole my stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what about these people that's hurting us right here? Like, we ain't gonna do nothing about that. We need to protect our own community from our own people. And once I did that, I mean, it was way more people loved it, but I got a lot of backlash over it too, because people felt like I was bashing black people.
Now we had talked about that earlier, but you were also saying you understood.
Yeah, I understood where they was coming from, because I listen to anybody that tell me about my music. I'm that guy that want every fan. I don't want no he might not like me. Not what can I do to make you like what I'm doing or like something I'm doing. You gotta like a shirt, a hat, something you got to like about me. So when people was telling me, oh man, this was offensive, that was offensive, I said, okay, you right. I could be stubborn and say, man, I ain't changing nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, all right, cool. I got all these people like it, just to make the people who have a problem with that, I change these lines and stuff for y'all too. So now everybody could like it.
Okay. So then let's go back to talking about like Magic's and then what he meant to your career.
Man, Magic was the guy when I ain't had no money to get this started and trying to. Mike was the one who, him and his whole family, his mom, everybody. I used to go to Mike's house and stay for days just doing music. He'd have his daughter in his lap, putting her to sleep, and we just making songs.
Yeah.
Because I gave him a breath of fresh air of doing music, and he gave me an outlet to do all this music that I had wrote. So me and him, man, we became closer than anybody. So when he got killed, I was actually headed to the studio.
Yeah.
So I had hit him up, and I was like, man, you need a ride? He was like, nah, my kinfolk finna come get me. I'm like, all right. So I'm headed to the studio, and then I get a call, was like, man, you heard about Magic? I'm like, yeah, I just talked to him, man. I'm headed to the studio. They like, nah, he just got killed. I'm like, nah, Magic ain't. So, I call his phone ringing. I say, man, I don't know. So I'm calling him. I'm like, man, somebody just called me and say Magic got killed. I don't really know what's. They like, yeah. I say, man, nah, he can't, because he was at the church. He worked at the church doing engineering and stuff at the church. So I'm like, man, Mike at church. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody happy to nobody at church. And they were like, man, he got killed in front of the church. And I wrote, and he was dead in front of the church. I was like, who would kill somebody at the church? You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? The thing about Mike progressing up to his murder, I've been looking at a lot of my people trying to read him, because I felt like I misread Mike and me, Mac, a lot of us, because he was asking for help on the situation he was in, but me and him kind of bumped heads a little bit, because he just came to me one day and was like, oh man, I gotta shut the studio down, man. You're gonna have to start recording somewhere else. So I'm like, man, we've been recording, you know what I'm saying? I felt like he was kicking me out, like, oh man, you just can't record here no more. So I'm like, all right, I'll go to somebody else then. Just give me my files.
Yeah.
But when I think back on it, he was really protecting me from whatever the situation he was in, because a lot of stuff started happening. Like, I don't want to talk about it on the thing, but just situations where he got jumped, and then this happened. Then one of my partners was like, oh man, Mike called me asking me for a gun or this or that. I'm like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Mike, he don't hit me no more. And the whole time he was really saying, it's not a good time for you to be around me for what I done got myself in. So now I really appreciate what he did doing that, because like I say, I was with Mike all the time, and I had just asked him, do he need me to come pick him up on my way to the studio?
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? That was like a tough situation for me. Then I told so I had really went into depression, you don't know you depressed because you don't know when you get depressed. Some people know when they get depressed. I didn't know I was depressed. I was just sad and I just went in the mood to do nothing. So I really was depressed until I talked to one of my partners and I was just talking to him about everything because he's like, man, you're not acting the same no more. And then he was like, man, you know where we come from, man? We come from South London, bro. We ain't have nothing growing up. We shared chicken wings and all that. Man, you tripping. We good forever. And then it just stuck with me. And then every time I was like, man, you know what? I'm good forever, man.
I'm sorry, my bad. But was that the reason for the 2-year
That was-
hiatus?
That was the reason for what?
For when you stopped recording for about 2 years?
Yeah.
The
That was the reason the break came from, was it the Dante Higgins story to Good Forever?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Good Forever is what helped pull you out of the depression. Like, is it recording that and putting together the clothing line and the brand, like
Right. Well, the
rebranding
Good
it?
Forever is I had got with a new crew. I had got with Breadwinner. So anytime you start doing something new, it gets you uplifted to do something. So I was like, oh, I got something new. We moving this and that. But as it started going, I was like, you know what? I want to go in a different direction. I want to build my own brand. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to step on nobody's toes because we had built a lot with the Breadwinner stuff, the music, and you know what I'm saying? Stone helped me out a lot. So I was like, man, I just feel like I want to do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? It came off kind of selfish or whatever, but I just felt like I just had something bigger and better I wanted to do. So now I'm like, I got the Good Forever brand. I'm doing the Christmas toy drives. When we raised like $4,500 worth of toys, man, the kids can't pick whatever toy they
And that's
want.
that's for South Lawn, right?
Yeah. We
Okay.
did it in the missionary in Mike O apartment. So this
Okay.
year we doing we getting the school toy, the Good Forever school drive together for South London.
Okay.
So we're gonna do the whole school drive, get all the kids everything they need for school to go to school, man. I'm giving away a Good Forever scholarship to a kid from Jack Gates every semester. You know what I'm saying? $1,000. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting a scholarship ready. That'll help a kid get books, lunch, whatever they need. So that's what I had in my mind that I wanted to do. And I felt like, I ain't gonna say they didn't want to do it, but that wasn't the number one thing on their mind to do at the time. Because, you know, Stone sell a lot of jewelry and grills. I'm not into jewelry and stuff.
I got you.
I'm more into doing this other stuff. So I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do, and I want to build my brand up to do it.
And sometimes just, you know, like you said, jewelry, like sometimes styles don't mesh. Like we saw an interview with you where you were talking about, I think it was you and the Hotel Lorraine project. Did you want to speak on that? Because you were kind of eloquent about, you know, our styles just didn't mesh. So.
Oh, with me and Killer?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Killer, one of the best rappers in the city. You know what I'm saying? I got the project called Kingpin. So every time we greet each other, we always let each other know, man, you one of the coldest ones and I'm one of the coldest. But the project, we was actually supposed to do it together.
Okay.
The Lorraine Hotel project together. But as we was doing it, like I just be getting these feelings or these vibes. And I just felt like, even though the project did good, it probably would have got me a lot of publicity and stuff.
Yeah.
I just felt like, man, it wasn't meshing right, or I feel like, man, we were just rapping, because, you know, he rap a lot. He rap. I'm rapping. I'm like, man, it ain't just going in the direction that I wanted to go, because I'm serious about the music. I done started recording whole projects and stopped. Like, nah, I don't like that, the way it's flowing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going good enough. And so I was just like, nah. So him doing a CD by himself made it 100 times better than me and him on it
If y'all
together.
had worked it together.
It's a positive
Okay.
way.
So what we talking about right now? You've got Magic Studio. That's the last album that you got out. So what can we expect from you just in the next upcoming year or two?
Well, I'm debating on. I got a CD called Right On. I did with Pug. That's who produced our D-Lo stuff.
yeah, Pug Tunes.
So me and him got a whole CD together called Right On. Well, we speaking on like a lot of Black Power stuff, using a lot of old shows and just talking about just right on and power and Martin Luther King and a lot of stuff like that. We actually recorded this 2 years ago.
Okay.
But like I say, I be getting out my zones of doing it, because when I was recording, I was like, oh yeah, this gonna be live. And then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to do that type of music now. So I'm
Yeah.
like, dang, I don't really want to do it because everybody doing that now. So I need to do something else. I'm gonna do some funk or something. I don't want
Makes
to
sense.
do that. So we got that. We got a Kingpin Part 2, and I'm gonna have my boy Killer Tex produce the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm about to get started working on Good Forever Part 2, and try to get, man, I'm just trying to keep the music going because the more music you drop, the more fans you will get and the more money you can make. Like all my money on iTunes and stuff, I don't touch the money. So it's just in there just building up until I drop the next project. That's what I was saying. Like I'm not going in my pocket spending $3,000 whatever on a project every time. I don't look at the nothing at all. When it's time to go, I go in there and I'm like, oh yeah, we ready. You know what I'm saying? We can get posters and everything. We ready to roll. So that's how I pay for my music. And the clothes, it's just I feel like I can't pay for billboards or nothing, but the clothes, the more people I get them on, they walking billboards for me. And they styling at the same time too. So like most rappers put Dante Higgins across, Dante Higgins across. People don't want to walk around with Jay-Z on their chest all day.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Jay-Z put Rockaway on there.
Yeah.
Or you got like Nipsey Hussle. They don't want to have Nipsey, so he created his brand. So I could walk around. This good still is Dante Higgins. It just you could style in it now.
Yeah.
So that was my whole plan of the music.
And then even if the brand is associated with the name, you can
Right.
always
And
step
the
back.
charities,
Like
the
if
charity
my name
events.
starts to, if I don't rap as much, that kind of thing, I can still push. I can still push the clothing. I can still push other stuff. So yeah, it makes
like
sense.
I told you, with me and my mom trying to get the business started.
Yeah.
So we trying to put everything under the Good Forever umbrella. So man, we could be millionaires in the game.
All
Got
right.
that perfect marketing strategy. Like
Yeah,
that's really
yeah.
good.
And I really don't even be telling people a lot of my ideas, man. I try to keep everything to myself.
You gave us a lot.
Yeah, because I got some stuff in my brain that I'm finna get out of there.
And
People,
I liked it.
like I'm actually finna start working on a book.
Sure,
And what
you're
I'm gonna do
writing
is
stuff.
I'm gonna take all my stories that I done wrote on all these CDs and type them up, and then the first page is gonna be what I was thinking about writing it or experience I went through, and then I'm gonna have a story on there, and then it's gonna be the song at the end. So if I do Mongoose, I'm gonna tell me and my friends used to ride the Mongoose bikes, do this, that, man. We used to go up to the screw shop, blah, blah, blah. Then my bike got stole. Then I'm gonna have my actual lyrics from the song in there where you can read through it. Then after that, if you want to hear the song, it's there. So I'm gonna do volumes of the book, and I just
makes
talked
so
to a
much
dude
sense.
that could get it published and everything. So me and my mom gonna start working on that ASAP.
Perfect to that. Just to say one more thing. With that idea in hand, Know Me Now.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
was that
exactly.
about? Was that a true story?
Know Me Now was a true story.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, let's flesh out. Okay, so Know Me Now, for people that haven't heard it, go ahead and tell them what happens in
Know
that
Me
song.
Now, man. I had got to middle school, and I had the gray J's, and this dude, he was cool with me. He like, oh man, let's switch shoes. That what you used to do. You switch shoes, man. I'm gonna switch shoes. I'm gonna rock these, and I don't know if he got suspended. I never seen him again with my gray J's.
Man.
And I had like he gave me like some Air Max or something. I'm planning on getting them back, giving them back. But I'm like, man, I got in trouble for them J's, for real. And then I got older and I ran into him at the club. He come up, oh, I'll tell you what's up. Well, he had did some jail time or whatever. And I was like, man, I know he don't think I forgot about my J's. You know what I'm saying? I asked him about him. I'm like, you ain't got my J's no more? I'm nah, you can't rock. I said, man, you stole. I'm still hurt about them J's, bro. That was the Cool Grays.
Cool Grays just came out again. So yeah, I understand.
Yeah, the Cool Grays. I was hurt. I did. That was a true story. And this off the new CD. Man, what's the story I told? What a dude stole my watch. And he was helping me look for it. Yeah, most of my stories be true story. I tell the truth on all of them. The Mongoose story when he stole my bike out the bushes.
That's one of my favorite. Like even seeing the
Yeah.
name Mongoose, I was like, of course it's about a bike. The
Yeah,
Mongoose bike.
The
Like
Mongoose,
who
man.
didn't have one? Like
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
All right, man. Well, look, we appreciate you coming out, and we hope to have a lot more of these interviews. And we
Yeah.
hope to have you
for
back
sure,
again.
man.
So,
Anytime
man,
y'all
thank
want
you
me
for
to come
coming
through,
out.
man, I like it.
All right, man. Thank you. And that's in my humble opinion.